Matthew Kershaw.
Yes.
Good. I'm glad to see you attentive, awake, and alert. We are going to check out Bladestorm Nightmare. Do you know what this game is?
No, but I know one character in the game, and that's it.
Well, we're going to meet that character of yours in just a little bit.
Awesome.
But this game is not what it first seems. I never played the original. This is a remake and a sequel all in one.
Hang on, I cannot see anything on the screen right now. What is happening?
So, a lot of griffins descended out of the ground, or ascended out of the ground, I guess. And this game is a fucking mess. And I love it. You know what I mean? Like, the frame rate's shit. Constantly. It's never good. There's just numbers everywhere. There's fucking griffin wings in your face. The griffins glow purple.
I like how all the text just flashes in the middle of the screen and blocks any sort of view.
That's really the only thing this game has in common with other Tecmo games. Because you see the combat I'm doing, it's not actual direct combat. You don't control what your dude does, you control the whole formation. And you have abilities for that formation and the different unit types, and that's the whole game, is you trying these different unit types, each with their advantages and disadvantages. But you don't really attack. There's no, like, you don't press a button to attack. It's all weird. It takes a while to get used to. So
that
when my guy swings his sword, it's because I'm holding down the trigger, and whenever he gets near somebody, he just swings the sword.
Your guy was just levitating and he wasn't even moving his feet.
Well, he's now part of the Grim Reaper squad, so they can levitate and call down flame tornadoes and ice spikes.
Well, of course they can. Everybody knows the Grim Reaper can summon flames from the grounds.
Yeah, so the original Bladestorm game, 100 Years War, was set in the 100 Years War, and it's kind of like the Dynasty Warriors games, where it's fake history. Like, vaguely historical.
Yeah.
But mostly not. But then this Nightmare is basically, so Joan of Arc, who I don't know was around in that time, she was, you know, the lady who rode on a horse or something in France.
Yeah. Well, she did more than that, but, you know.
I know, she just rode the horse back and forth from Brittany down to, like, I don't know, somewhere in the south. Where's in the south? Nice? I think I've been there. Nice. Anyway, yeah, so in this... They don't explain this. There's like, it's pretty great. They do flashback moments, which is always amazing. But so she gets picked up by a dragon or a griffin, I don't remember which, and carried off. And then she comes back as this sexy Joan of Arc lady, leading a horde of goblins. That's about it.
Of course.
That's the story.
I often, when people get kidnapped by dragons, they come back and look a lot sexier.
Yeah, it's like... Did you see the evil lady from the Hyrule Warriors games? The most boobs that's ever been in a Zelda game before.
Yes.
Well, she basically looks like that, but in higher definition.
Is she the weird lowly girl in Hyrule Warriors?
No, that's her sister, the other white sorceress. Lana? She's Russian, but she's actually American.
Yeah. Does she have a Bulgarian brute? She
does, and she kicked some old dude in the leg backstage. It was really mean. So, yeah, this game is actually a strategy game, and it's more of a strategy game than it looks.
I like how this game is French. I can understand why you like it.
Oh my fucking, the accents, dude. So this isn't part of the game I captured, but there's a French bartender in the tavern, and you return to the tavern in the main campaign after each battle, sort of to like recruit units and gossip to local mercenaries and stuff. And this guy has like 15 voices he juggles in any given scenes. It's fucking amazing. I think he's meant to be Spanish. I assume he's meant to be French, but I think he's an American dude doing a Spanish accent, thinking it's French. It's amazing.
Really?
It really is spectacular. So you can change players. So we just went from Magnus, some story dude who I don't know, he's in the game anyway. And now we're playing as my own custom character, who's leading the cavalry. And they're my favourite unit to use because they just do like sweeping charges, like destroy hordes of griffins.
I wouldn't think horseback riding is the best way to fight a griffin, but obviously I'm wrong.
Yeah, this is why the game is interesting and why I like the combat so much, is because each unit is a lot different. And so for the first 3 hours, maybe more, I basically hated the game. I could barely get to grips with it. But when you start learning the push and the pull of the units and like you know the kind of really janky things where it's like, oh, you have to, you know, use this ability when pointing in this direction if you want to hit enemies behind you. You know, shit like that you really shouldn't have to deal with in a video game. There's a lot of that, and each unit has its own version of that. So like, it's basically it's like barely usable, barely playable for like 5 hours. But when you get there, it's super fun. I've really enjoyed it.
You've not actually explained to me what you're fighting and why there are suddenly griffins everywhere.
You're fighting sexy Joan of Arc. That's all I know. I know that
Joan of Arc was a good person, wasn't she?
Yeah, well then she got sold by the griffin and became sexy. So she's obviously evil now. She has boobs. You know how this works. It's anime. But in France.
Good point.
Also there's Romans. It's pretty weird.
I was waiting for all your horsemen to just fall into the moat there because they were all in a line.
No. So you actually hold down the right trigger to make them stick in formation, like in a line basically, or you know, different squads have different formations. Some are more dense than others.
Yeah.
But so that's really how the horsemen you deal with. You get them in a line, you keep them tight by holding the trigger, and you use the charge, which you hold down, and you do that super powerful charge. But you have to be moving at a certain speed. So a lot of like mastering a unit is learning how long you have to be running before you can activate the charge. And, you know, like when you should start turning your horses because they take a while to turn, especially when charging. So it's like it's pretty good because you feel like you're wrangling this formation at all times. But then like it is janky as fuck. Cannot stress that enough.
It's like your characters look like they were glitching out there if you're ever next to another character model.
Yeah, pretty much, and that was just them doing the hold. I think it's R1 to do the default attack, where they all just glide towards the nearest unit and do the one animation over and over again.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's such a weird thing. But super. I just really enjoy it more than I should.
What's the goal in this fight? Because you're just kind of walking around killing things.
Well, in the original Bladestorm, which is, like I said, in this game, you pay like maybe 5 to 10 minute matches, and there's like you fight each day as part of this larger battle. So you have a certain amount of days in which to complete your objectives, which might be like capture this city, capture this castle, or whatever, or protect this merchant. So in the Bladestorm, in the Nightmare mode, which is what we're playing here with the fantasy people, it's kind of like you're just going to play this hour-long fight on this huge ass map, and it is huge. It's like way beyond anything in the Warriors series. So yeah, when you have these hour-long fights that don't really, you know, they're not split up as well as it is in the normal campaign. It's like, it gets too much, you know? You're just doing these like mindless base captures for, like I said, like an hour, and I think it loses something.
Yeah.
It loses some of the feeling of you're in this huge battle because you're not breaking it up into days like you would, I don't know, presumably in a real fight.
Can you see your different squads? Because I mean, you can change who you're controlling, so you can even find your other characters out in the world and battle with them.
Yeah, you can. There's a few different things you can do with them. You can, I think you can equip up to 4. I've only ever had 2 at a time now. I've played some of both of the campaigns. I need to go and finish the Nightmare one soon. But yeah, you can equip them as like an army, which I think means they are just following you as if they were bodyguards. So their units will just fight next to your units. Or you can send them all on their own different objectives, which is what I tend to do. So then, even if they're not capturing them, then I can just switch to them, you know, capture the base and move on. Yeah. Without having to run them across the map. But, yeah. There's a ton of different units available as well. There's like, so say you use spearmen, and then you can break that down into the kind of spearmen, you know, the medieval spearmen you might think. There might be like Roman spearmen, there might be fucking South China spearmen. All really non-historically accurate, but totally awesome. And then with the Nightmare mode, you have the dumb shit like the goblins and the reapers, the cyclopses, the griffons. The griffons are amazing.
Cyclopses in this game?
There is cyclopses in this game. They are large. Awesome. You can ride them as if it was Attack on Titan. It's quite impressive.
That's pretty awesome. Can you ride dragons too?
I don't know. I've killed plenty. Never actually tamed one myself yet. But
are there more dragons in this game than there are in Dragon Age? Because I thought that was the whole thing with Dragon Age, where there weren't dragons in that game.
Yeah, that's the ironic thing, is that in the original Dragon Age you fight like 2 dragons, and one of them is not real. So, and then in the DLC you fight a ghost dragon, which also isn't real. So, I guess 2 of the dragons you fight in I think you fight one real dragon in the original Dragon Age after 3 dragons you encounter. But in Dragon Age Inquisition there's a few more. But there's far more in this. Like, you will kill more dragons in a single fight in this game than you will in the entire Dragon Age series. If you killed every single dragon.
It's like Skyrim, where you can't walk more than 5 feet before running into a dragon.
But these are like pairs of dragons, just roaming the land. It's dumb. And they're all green for no apparent reason. They're all called weird. Green Dragon, as if, you know, there's different types, but I've only ever encountered green ones, so...
This is Yu-Gi-Oh! Now. It's like grey eyes, green dragon,
purple
red eyes,
I think,
black dragon. Yep.
Yeah, in one I had to line up catapults in front of this castle. Catapult the dragon, like hit the dragon with the rock or whatever, to make them fly out towards the battlefield, but then just set fire to me. It's the fucking dumbest thing. I thought I had to kill the dragon to the catapult, but I had to change my Cyclopses. And then you're seeing like 8 Cyclopses fight 2 dragons. It's fucking dumb. It's like this, like you can't see anything on the screen, it's just a mess of monster.
Yeah. What are you playing this on, by the way? I never asked.
This is on the PS4. I think it's on the Xbox One as well.
Yeah, I think I've seen it on the Xbox One.
Yeah.
I could not imagine this game running on the 360 or PS3.
No, it actually doesn't look bad, you know? For one of these games, it doesn't look bad. I was surprisingly impressed. There's a lot of blow on the characters as well.
Is that the Cyclops?
That is the Cyclops.
He's got Tristan's hair from Yu-Gi-Oh!
They're actually pretty difficult, but I've over-leveled so much. It's kind of a joke. Normally the problem is you can't hit them with horses, because your horses are just like overshooting them every time you try to run at them. So you end up just like circling around this boss for 10 minutes, but... Yeah, it's a shit game, but it's a really good game. I kind of like it.
Hal looks sexy in his fishnet top.
Oh, it's fucking disgusting. Adios.
Ciao.